What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for joining us. We are live at Impact Gaming Center in the fantastic, the fabulous Fairview Heights, Illinois. Thank you all so much for joining us. We've got some standard action. That's right. We've got Store Championship. These players are playing for the absolutely gorgeous Blooming Marsh for Seth after the Novice Inspector was played, but they're playing for the gorgeous Urza Saga textless foil worth like $350, $400. I'm Les Alex. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you're watching after the fact on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and of course, subscribe. This is going to be a fun one. We got Boros Convoke and Golgari Midrange. Golgari Midrange, kind of the best deck of the format. But yeah, and Boros Convoke, one of the better aggro decks in the format. Here's Caustic Bronco. Of course, this is the new Bob, basically. But yeah, Caustic Bronco, whenever the Bronco attacks, you reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. You lose life equal to its mana value. If it was saddled, otherwise each opponent loses that much life. Resolute Reinforcements here, played by Gabe. Flash, and whenever Reinforcements enters the battlefield, you get a 1/1 white soldier token. And there was a case of the Getaway Express. When it enters the battlefield, choose target creature you control. Each creature you control deals 1 damage to that creature. So it takes down the Caustic Bronco. Here's a Gleeful Demolition. Going to take out the clue and going to create 3/1/1 tokens. And Gabe is doing the thing right now. And he'll put some counters on there. In step, that's going to solve his case, which, as we all know, creatures you control get +1/+0 when it's solved. Here is Glissa the Sunslayer. It's got first strike, death touch, and whenever Sunslayer deals combat damage to a player, choose one. You draw a card, lose 1 life, or destroy target enchantment, or remove up to 3 counters from target permanent. Here is Imodane's Recruit. +1/+0, and gain haste until end of turn. So this is probably going to be an alpha strike. Gabe going to get into the red zone with all of his critters. And remember, thanks to that case, everything's already plussed by 1/0. So Imodane's Recruit also going to give things +1/+0. Yep. So Gabe here explaining attacking creatures get +1/0. So all these 1/1s are actually three powers worth of critters. So I think this is the game. And yeah, Seth gonna scoop it up. Gabe gonna take game number 1 here in our Standard Store Championship. Sometimes you call Gabe the Reed Duke of the Midwest because of his glorious hair. Hey, you're not wrong there, Mike. That's awesome. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning in with us here today. We're live. We're doing it live. I'm Les Alex. We are here at Impact Gaming Center in the fabulous Fairview Heights, Illinois, 49 Ludwig Drive. If you're in the Midwest, we'd love to see you. Come on out. play some games with us. We have 22,000 square feet of gaming center goodness. Whew. As these players start to sideboard, I do not have their deck list. This is not a competitive REL event. However, there are some really great prizes. So a lot of players, I believe we have 27 players for this standard showdown. None of these players, well, I don't want to speak for everybody, but a lot of these players haven't played much standard. So just they went on Goldfish or whatever, picked whatever deck fit what they like to do in Magic, and are jamming here today for that glorious, glorious Urza Saga. But, oh my gosh. Thank you all so much. Here, we're going to switch to this camera right now. And I'm just doing this to display. This is about half of our gaming space and probably about a quarter of our full space. It's massive, folks. It's massive. If you're in the Midwest, make the trip. Like I said, 49 Ludwig Drive. Come on out. Play some Magic. Play some card games. Hey, we have other card games at tabletop. We do Warhammer. We do D&D, Pathfinder, other card games. We've got other events today, too. So, a lot of cool stuff happening today. But obviously, you're here for the magic, the magic of the gathering. Alrighty, so let's take a look at some of the suspected sideboard cards here. This one is for Golgari Midrange. We've got Terra Sunder, Choking Masaima. So this is going to be one that is probably going to bring in, if Seth has it, in fact, in his deck. It's 3 mana, and it's got kicker of a green. If this spell was hit, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. But more importantly, just for 3 mana, all creatures get -2/-2, and in turn, if you play that early enough, it can just wipe Gabe's entire board. Then we've got Tranquil Frillback. Of course, this is the kind of take on enchantment removal. And it also destroys artifacts, gets somebody's graveyard, and you could potentially gain life. Gix's command. You get to choose 2, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 creature, destroy each creature with power 2 or less. So that's definitely going to come in here. It is 5 mana, though. So will it be quick enough? We shall see. Taking a look at the potential cards for Gabe. And again, these are not exact deck lists. I'm just looking off Goldfish and going by what they have. But we've got Requisition Raid. We've got Destroy Evil. Destroy Evil is probably one that I would bring in here, just because getting rid of Shieldred is of utmost importance. Urbrass Fort is going to be pretty sticky for the green-black deck. So, yeah, we'll be interested to see what gets brought in here, but looks like Gabe is going to take a mulligan, and I think Seth is as well. So there we have it, our first mulligans of the game, of the tournament. And we have 5 rounds of Swiss cut to top 8. So this is going to be a pretty long day. So if you're watching, stay with us. It's going to be a fun time. Make sure to head on over to impactgamingcenter.gg for all your Magic the Gathering needs, like I said. All right, both players consulting their hands here. Well, no more waste. Your turn. Back to Gabe. Let's see if Seth can fare better while on the play. Battlefield Forge and a pass. That's a good sign for Seth. No 1-drop here for Gage. So let's see what Seth, if Seth can take advantage Dead Whispers, he's going to draw a card and lose 1 life. And it goes on an adventure.
It goes to your graveyard, and then you can, until your end of your next turn, you can cast it.
All right, back to Gabe. And here is a Plains. That is Yodian Frontliner, a 1-mana 1/1 that has Unearth, but it also, when it attacks another target creature you control, gets +1/+1 until end of turn. And here is Glissa, and on this board, Glissa is going to be a force to be reckoned with. All right, let's see what Gabe has in store for his 3rd turn here. Gabe consulting the hand here. And just says pass turn. Back to Seth. Seth thinking out loud here, talking about all the potential cards that Gabe could have. Take 3, says Gabe. And with that, Seth is going to draw 1 card and lose 1 life. The Fountain going to enter the battlefield. And pass back. Gabe needs to find a way to put some pressure on to Seth, or find a way to get that Glissa off the table, because it will just simply run away with this game. Cavern Souls naming Knight here for Gabe. Swinging 1. Down to 18 goes Seth. Gleeful Demolition going to basically sacrifice the frontliner for 3 goblins here. Is this a recruiter? Oh. Knight Errant of Eos, and this is definitely one of the best cards in his deck. It's got Convoke, obviously, and when it enters the battlefield, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creatures with mana value X or less from among them, where X is the number of creatures that you convoke to play it. Put the revealed cards in your hand and shuffle. When he only found a Novice Inspector.
cards into your hand and shuffle. Nice. Use that, fellas.
Yeah, so just a shuffle. That is a really weird. Usually cards like that do just put them on the bottom.
Pass it up. Instep.
So Gabe passes here. In step. Seth gonna take an action, it would appear. Bitter Triumph. Yeah, that's gonna take down the Knight Errant. Gonna discard a Demolition Field. And Seth's gonna take his turn. And yeah, things just not going Gabe's way this game. Seth able to stave off the... I mean, Gabe really didn't have a good start, but Seth doing a pretty good job here of keeping things at bay. We're just going to get in with Glissa one more time. This time, we're going to throw one of those goblins in front. And that'll be a chump block. Does Seth have a follow-up here? Duress. So Gabe's going to reveal his hand.
Target instant or source. Non-land, non-creature card.
Non-land, non-creature card, yeah.
Case.
Gonna take the case. So we got Novice and Imidane's Recruiter alongside a Cavern of Souls. Llanowar Waste is the land for turn.
Going to ping myself for a bloom. Cast Dread Knight.
Here comes Dread Knight.
Going to do that again for another Dread Knight.
And then he'll play another Dread Knight. This time he's just playing the creature side. So pass back to Gabe. And there is the cavern that we knew about.
Name the fifth thing.
Novice Inspector going to create a clue. What's up, Mudkip? Yeah, Glissa is really good. Glissa is excellent. Second Novice Inspector, make another clue. And here is an Imidane's Recruiter. Go to combat. 10 at you. Block the Recruiter and one of the Novice Inspectors. Take 6. Down to 9, so... Gabe, had a rough start, obviously, but still has some draws. Obviously, having 2 clues, pretty great. What's your favorite card in Standard? Just so much value? It's a very good card. Cannot deny.
I'm going to cast one Dread Knight, draw a card. Draw a card, lose life, right? Yeah.
Gabe says draw a card, lose life, right?
I'll do the same, but I'm pay with Llanowar Waste.
So Seth dropping pretty low here, down to 6. Gonna draw another card.
Pass turn.
And just pass back, keeping Glissa on defense duty, blocking duty.
Second.
No, this is the only store championship. We do have standard showdown every single Tuesday. So come on up, play some games. Gonna sack a clue. Merrick's, all right. It's a good way to generate some critters on the battlefield, that's for sure. And we'll pass back to Seth.
They won for duress.
And the duress going to happen here.
Oh, it's a Battlefield Forge. I forgot about that.
Battlefield Forge Mountain.
I'm gonna pay 2.
Second clue did not feel good.
I'm sorry. I lose a life.
Down to 5 goes Seth.
Block lane sworn. Targeting Diamond Inspector. I'll gain 2 life. Block lane sworn. Targeting one of the goblins. Gain 2 life.
All right, so Seth gaining life here with these.
This is goblin, right? There's
Yeah.
no-
It's a Phyrexian goblin.
Okay.
Phyrexian Goblin.
Pass turn.
That's a good way to get rid of the Glissa, I think. I think he drew a case.
Unearthed.
Yep.
Frontliner.
Yep.
He's going to unearth the frontliner here.
Way up my might. I think you're gonna have a might token. So sure.
There's a might token, that secret layer.
Proxy. Take one. Case of the Gateway Express. Kill the Glissa.
Kill the Glissa.
Go to combat. Yep. Hit you for 3 and solve the case.
Hit you for 3, solve the case. So down to 5.
Oh, it is 3. Whatever. Same difference. Mess it up. This kills itself.
Play swamp.
Oh. This is 5 mana.
Yep. Pass turn.
Aquazats. Battlefield Forge and a pass. Oh no, Gabe.
Attack. Trigger. Whenever attacks, opponent discards a card. If it's a land card, create a back token.
Discarding a land makes a bat token for Seth. Got all the tokens. Except for a bat, apparently. Okay. Look at that. Gabe's got one, though. And this is probably where things are going to get out of control for Gabe. Though I've been saying that pretty much all game. And he's been able to fight him down. But let's see. It looks like Seth is not quite finished yet. Ooh, Preacher of the Schism's another good one. Activating his Mirex. And Gabe going to scoop it up. We're going to go to game number 3 here.
5 times in a row. Yeah. Oh my god. I mean, it's fine. It happens, but...
Alrighty. So, 5 straight lands in a row there for Gabe. That was pretty rough to see. But yeah, thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. We've got Seth, who just won game number 2, and Gabe. They're both on some pretty cool decks. Golgari Midrange and, of course, Boros Convoke. Golgari Midrange might be the best deck in the format. Definitely the most represented for sure. And it's just a good fun time with a lot of just very powerful cards. This player's going to sideboard. Looks like Gabe's actually going to potentially sideboard here into game 3. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining us. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell icon, and set it to all so you don't miss out. But yeah, let's kick it back down there. It's okay, Gabe. Oh, that's good. All right, so we're going into game 3. Gabe is going to be on the play. So we saw what happened game 1 when Gabe was able to have that explosive start. So we shall see if that will be the case yet again. All right, both players consulting their opening hands. And looks like Gabe is going to mulligan. And Seth appears to be keeping. Gabe gonna keep. Gotta figure out what he wants to put back.
Booming Marsh.
Seth is on the play? Yeah.
Oh, wait. I don't know what to do now.
Well, I also didn't keep.
Seth won that.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I drew a card. I know what card it was. It was this. Do I put on? What do we do here?
So,
He played a land, and then I was just like autopiloting. To like, okay, yeah.
So Seth you won, so Gabe would have choice.
yeah, so he has a choice.
You drew a card.
Yeah, because he played a land. And then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll draw.
Right. So how many cards are in your hand currently?
6. I know the card on top. Or, well, I knew.
So yeah, just reshuffle.
Okay. And then we can.
Wait, you knew what card was on bottom,
Yeah.
right?
Or no, that's a battlefield. It's on top
No.
with a land on bottom.
Okay, so but you stride this to the bottom as a part of your.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna shuffle.
Okay. Because, yeah, I think I said I would.
I didn't hear, but it's still like it's your like when you played the land, I was like, oh, did he choose to go second? Like what the heck? But yeah,
Okay.
so I'm assuming okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's fine. I probably should have done that.
Right. No,
All right. Yes, so that was a weird one. Gabe did choose to go first. I guess Seth didn't hear it or something. And then Gabe just went with it and drew a card. So what we did was we kept his scried card that he put to the bottom from his mulligan onto the bottom and then shuffled the rest of the deck. So we were back at it though. Everything's on the up and up. Just an honest mistake, I believe, from both players here. And we got 2 mana. Invasion of Gabokhan. Here we go, folks. This is a fun one. So Seth's gonna spread out his hand. This is the battle from March of the Machines. He gets to pick one of these cards, and it costs 2 more.
it still costs more whichever one you cast.
That's the first time or both?
The first time.
Yeah, so I think, is that a Gliss or a Shieldred? Regardless, Virtue is going to be the one that gets set to the side with the invasion passed back to Seth for his second turn. Blooming Marsh and passed back to Gabe. Plains. The land. Urabrask's Forge. This is a good one. This is from all will be won at the beginning of combat on your turn. Put an oil counter on it, and then you get to create an X1 Phyrexian horror creature with trample and haste, where X is the number of oil counters on it. Then you get to have to sacrifice it. So, oh, did Gabe not attack with the creature? And here is Glissa. Oh. Did he must have attacked the invasion. Gabe's going to take a sec here to read the backside of Invasion of Gabokhan, but it's definitely good. You get +1/+1 counters on every creature that attacks, and then you can sacrifice it. It lets you sacrifice it to give all your creatures hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Swinging the token here, just so everybody knows. Swinging the token at invasion. And Seth blocks with the Glissa. Back to Seth. Tap 4. Is this going to be Shieldred the Apocalypse? This is the big baddie.
Combat.
And going to attack with Glissa. Removes the counters from Urbrass Forge. Pretty good. Shieldred's going to take Gabe down to 15. Yeah, Shieldred's pretty much the card that Seth wants to draw every single turn after turn 4 until he finds one, right? But very, very good card in this matchup. Makes it real hard for Gabe to be able not only to attack past it, but also just chip away at his life total. Dane's Recruiter and just passes.
Tap 3 for the Lock Wings one. Turn into Dane's Recruiter. Possible. Oh.
Going to take down the Dane's Recruit. And we are getting in there, I believe, with both.
I could be wrong, but I think it's also going to cost 9. It says for as long as that card remains exiled. Wait, no, or is that as long as it's exiled under invasion? I'm not sure.
Okay.
If we get there,
Yeah, I
I'll
don't.
let you know.
So they're discussing how much the virtue would be. And going to remove the counters again from Urbrass Forge. Urbrass Forge, a great card in the matchup, but when Gliss is on the table, it kind of just makes it a non option here.
Go to combat? Yep. Great turn. Master combat. Yep. Urbrass's Forge.
Gleeful Diminution, going to get rid of the Urbrass Forge.
Oh, your Urbrass Forge?
Forgot about the 6.
Is that creature or artifact, or is it just artifact?
Target artifact.
Oh, okay.
Phyrexian War is still better than that.
Clever play there by Gabe, sacrificing Urbrass Forge. So now he doesn't have to sack the Phyrexian. And here comes Knight Aaron at EOS. Gonna look at the top 6. Gonna be able to pick a couple of cards here. Hopefully he doesn't whiff like he did last time. Novice Inspector and Resolute Reinforcements, the pickups for Gabe. And pass back to Seth. And I believe Seth's missing his gain life trigger here off of Shieldred. Which could come into play. Wow, Bitter Triumph again for the Knight Aaron of EOS. And Gabe, or rather Seth, going to get in here.
I'm going to choose to...
Down to 3 goes Gabe. All right, so he draws a card and nets 1 life thanks to the Shieldred trigger. Caps 3 mana. And there's Preacher of the Schism. So Gabe's got an uphill battle right here. I'm not sure if there's anything in his repertoire, in his deck, that is going to get him to come back from this. The tag team of Glissa and Shieldred is a pretty darn good, a world championship level tag team if I did ever see one. Novice Inspector. Lethal Demolition on the clue. Make some more tokens. Shieldred going to get the boots, medium style. Invasion of Gobokhan going to get attacked. Preacher of the Schism going to jump in front of one. And Invasion going to flip into Light Shield Array. So the two goblins have +1/+1 counters on them now thanks to Light Shield Array. So Gabe's still in this game. Got plenty of blockers. Landlore Waste here for Seth. Tap in 2. Has a card in his hand. Blackwing Swarm going to take down Novice Inspector. Going to gain Seth 2 life. Dread Knight going to come in. Blocking with the 2 goblins, the trigger. Going to lose a life and draw a card for Seth. And a pass back. Crowd starting to kind of develop around our feature match area. Gabe being at 1 is really rough here. Novice Inspector. Yeah, and Gleeful Demolition going to take out the clue. Going to make 3 tokens. Separate the ones that have Summoning Sickness versus the ones that do not. We're swinging the boys. So we're going to block.
I can't let this misrepresent for you either.
Yeah, that's fine. So these are what?
3 2.
3 2s and 2 1s. Down to 5, or down, takes 5 rather. And I think Gabe forgot his +1/+1 counters from Light Shield Array. Oh, well, now he's doing it. Okay, fair enough. Virtue of Persistence is at the beginning of your upkeep, put a creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Pretty good. What does Gabe have here? And can he just win this turn? If he can win this turn, it's good. I think otherwise Seth's going to bring back Shieldred, and it's going to be lights out for Gabe. Unless he can gain life somehow. Two cards in Gabe's hand, or sorry, Seth's hand. Gabe gonna do some math. It's pretty close. Two lands. I don't think Gabe has it here. Gonna just block each of them. And pass back to Seth. I think this is going to be it because Shieldred's going to come in. Gabe says, you got it. That is going to do it here in round number 1. It's going to be Seth with Golgari Midrange over Gabe on Boros Convoke. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We've got 4 more rounds of Swiss plus a top 8. I'm Les Alex. This is Impact Gaming Center. Hit up impactgamingcenter.gg for all your Magic the Gathering card game and tabletop gaming needs. And of course, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell icon, set it to all so you don't miss out on content like this. Thank you all so much. If you're watching live, we'll be right back very, very soon with round number 2. Otherwise, watch one of these videos if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you, and adios.